All right, welcome everyone to a very special Peter on Tour visual guide. Today, we are doing a real deep dive into Warsaw, a city that, I promise you, will completely upend your expectations of a European capital.
Okay, so to really get Warsaw, you kind of have to forget everything you think you know about historic cities in Europe. Because its real story, the one that truly matters, isn't about ancient buildings that have stood for centuries. It's about what was utterly destroyed and then, against all odds, brought back to life.
85%. I mean, just let that number sink in for a second. That's how much of Warsaw was intentionally flattened, just completely wiped off the map by Nazi forces after the city's heroic uprising in 1944. It wasn't collateral damage, it was a deliberate annihilation.
So what happened? For 63 long, brutal days, the Polish resistance fought back, and the punishment for that bravery was just unimaginable. The official order was to make Warsaw completely disappear from the surface of the earth. And, they came terrifyingly close.
But, and this is where the story pivots from pure tragedy to one of the most incredible tales of human resilience you'll ever hear. The people of Warsaw came back to a city that was just a sea of rubble. So how do you rebuild? What do you use as a guide? Well, they used art, specifically these super detailed paintings of the city made 200 years earlier by an artist named Canaletto. They literally used paintings as blueprints.
So here's the kicker. When you're standing in this beautiful, historic-looking Old Town Square, you're actually looking at something that's younger than your grandparents. And get this, UNESCO made it a World Heritage Site, not in spite of being a reconstruction, but because of it. It's a monument to the will of a nation that refused to be erased.
Okay, so that spirit of rebirth and reinvention is literally everywhere in the city today. Let's get our bearings by looking at 3 key districts that each tell a different part of Warsaw's story: its past, its present, and its future. This map is your key to unlocking the whole city. Think of it less as a map of streets and more as a map of, well, vibes. You can see how the Vistula River really carves the city into different worlds, different eras. So on one side you have the Old Town, that picture-perfect symbol of reconstruction. But then you cross the river into Praga, and it's like stepping back in time. This is the part of Warsaw that actually survived the war. It's got that authentic pre-war grit, and now it's become the heart of the city's cool, artsy hipster scene. And then there's Powiśle, right down by the river. This place is all about Warsaw's future. It used to be all industrial, but now it's just buzzing with modern architecture, cool cafes, and amazing green spaces. This is where you really feel the pulse of 21st century Warsaw. Okay, so you've got the lay of the land. Now for the fun part. Let's dive into the practical stuff, the insider tips that'll make you feel like you actually live here, not just visiting. This is the deep dive. First up, getting around. I'm going to make this really easy for you. Forget every other app. You only need one. It's called Jakdojade. Every single person in Warsaw uses it. It's got all the bus and tram routes in real time, and you can buy your tickets right there in the app. It's a total game changer. But, and listen up, because this is probably the most important tip I can give you, there's a catch. It's the 10-second rule. The moment you hit Activate Ticket in the app, a timer starts. You have exactly 10 seconds to scan the QR code inside the bus or tram. So here's the pro move. Find the QR code first, get your phone's camera ready, then hit Activate and scan. Trust me, you don't want to get caught out. All right, transport conquered. Now it's time for maybe the most authentic cultural experience you can have in Poland. We're going to tackle the Bar Mleczny, the Polish milk bar.
Now, let's be clear. These are not cute little restaurants designed for tourists. Nope. These are a holdover from the communist era. Government-subsidized canteens. And inside, you'll see everyone from students to pensioners to business people, all lined up for delicious, hearty, and ridiculously cheap Polish food.
It can feel a little intense for first-timers, which is why we've got this survival flowchart for you. Rule number 1, do not go find a table first. You grab a tray, you get in line. The menu will probably only be in Polish, so your best friend is just pointing and saying to, which means this. You pay, you get a number, and you listen for it to be yelled out. And now, the golden rule, the one thing that will separate you from the tourists. When you're done, you must, I repeat, must take your tray to the return rack. Leaving it on the table is the #1 tourist mistake. Trust me on this one. I learned it the hard way years ago and got yelled at. Don't be that person. Okay, let's pivot a little, because Warsaw is so much more than its heavy history.
The city today is just full of vibrant, modern, and honestly, really surprising twists. Here's a fact that'll blow your mind. Warsaw, a city known for its hearty meat and potatoes cuisine, is one of the top vegan-friendly cities in the entire world. No joke. We're talking dozens of amazing vegan restaurants where you can even get a plant-based version of the ultimate Polish classic, the Schabowy pork schnitzel. It's just a perfect snapshot of how this city respects its past while racing toward the future.
And hey, if you're thinking about a winter trip, you are in for such a treat. The whole historic royal route gets decked out in these gorgeous, elegant light displays. They call it the Great Illumination, and it just turns a simple evening walk into something straight out of a fairy tale.
You absolutely cannot talk about the Warsaw skyline without talking about this building, the Palace of Culture and Science. It was a so-called gift from Stalin back in the 50s, and to this day, locals have a, let's say, complicated relationship with it. It's both a painful reminder of the past and, weirdly, an icon of the city.
And that complicated feeling is captured perfectly in this classic Warsaw joke. Everyone says the best view of the city is from the observation deck at the top of the palace. Why? Because it's the only spot in Warsaw where you don't have to look at the palace itself. It's that perfectly dry Polish sense of humor.
So, from this incredibly deep history to its quirky, modern vibe, Warsaw is a city that just loves to defy expectations. So let's wrap this up and get you ready for your own adventure. You know, Warsaw isn't a city that just presents itself to you on a silver platter, all fairy tale and perfect. It's a city with grit. It's complex. It has this incredible energy of rebirth that you feel on every corner. It's a city that really earns your respect.
So if you're feeling inspired and you're ready to experience this incredible city for yourself, you know where to go. Head on over to peterontour.com. We've got the full itinerary, all of our insider tips, and everything you need to plan your trip. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.